Hello friends and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. 50 years and a couple of days ago, NBC aired the next episode of the third season of the original series called Wink of an Eye, and these are my honest opinions about it. This episode was written, let's say that way, by Lee Cronin, which means that it's going to be at least good. And yes, I think it is good. We start with a landing party, consisting as usually from Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and 2 red shirts. For whatever reason, however, the start is really stupid. The Enterprise is receiving a video distress signal in which a group of humanoid aliens called the Skalosians claim they need immediate help, but the away team is on the same location and they don't see them there. And for whatever reason, this is treated like a mystery. Why? Wasn't it absolutely obvious for the 1968 audience that it's magic? That it's a recording? I understand that the first VCR came out in 1976, but they did have consumer-grade 8mm projectors in the 60s, didn't they? And they used to show pre-recorded stuff, like, for example, feature films on TV, so why should it be such a mystery? And while they talk about it, Compton, one of the 2 red shirts, does something really stupid. He drinks water from the fountain. Dude, you're on a strange planet and you just heard Spock saying that many of the buildings seem to be abandoned for a long time. What makes you think that the water is still clean? And how do you even know that the aliens don't drink, I don't know, for example, acid? But anyway, he drinks it, and after Kirk claims he hears an insect-like buzz, Compton disappears right in front of McCoy's eyes. The rest of the crew members beam on board, trying to understand what is going on, but suddenly strange problems start to appear everywhere on the ship. But they also get mysteriously solved within seconds. McCoy examines all members of the UA team, and Kirk again hears the buzz. He even starts to think that he might have hallucinations, but McCoy can't find any problem with him, which means that there is only one possibility: there is an intruder on board. Problems appear this time in environmental control. Kirk, Spock, and 2 red shirts rush there to find out what is happening, but the red shirts get knocked down by an invisible force field. Kirk and Spock are allowed to go there, but they can only watch. They find a strange device hooked up there, but when they try to touch it, a force field protects it. Back on the bridge, it's coffee time. Kirk drinks his cup, not knowing it was spiked, and soon he realizes that everybody behaves much slower than usual. When they all, from his perspective, stop moving at all, he realizes that there is a strange woman on the bridge. She says that she's Dila, the enemy, and kisses him. Now we get the explanation of what is happening. The Skalosians are accelerated and sterile, so the normal phaser can't harm them because they move in quote-unquote a wink of the eye. Kirk runs back to environmental control only to be stopped by Compton, who is alive and well. And he committed treason because he switched sides and works now for the occupation force. So Kirk punches him only to get shot down by another Skalosian named Ryle, who also puts down Compton because he failed to stop Kirk. When Captain Kirk wakes up, they explain to him the rest. Compton has meanwhile died of old age, because as soon as his accelerated body got damaged, he started to age even faster. And Ryle claims that Kirk killed him when he punched him, which is a plot point which leads absolutely nowhere. Dila explains to Kirk that they are all sterile and the only way how they can reproduce is that they need to kidnap men from other civilizations and use them as sperm donors. She will take Kirk down to the planet with them, and the rest of the ship will be frozen using the strange device. Whenever they will need new genetic material, they will unfreeze another man and abuse him, when Kirk will be too old or manages to die because of a scratch. And listening to all of this makes me wonder how the hell did they manage to get this episode made with the 1960s censorship. Kirk runs away and records a message for Spock. Deela makes fun of his efforts. She allows him to finish the recording and give it to Spock's computer, because she thinks that Spock will manage to listen to it only after they will be long gone. He manages to run away again and mess up the transporter to give Spock some time, but Deela finds him again. He claims that he didn't have time to do any damage. So what does Deela do? The only thing she can. She has sex with him. Makes perfect sense to me. Spock meanwhile hears the buzz too, so he gets an idea. He goes to the bridge and plays back the recording. He plays it in a different speed. First time he slows it down, then he speeds it up, and when he speeds it up to the correct speed, the recording starts to sound like the famous insect buzz. That's all just fine, but why do they show also the away team on the planet? Was there another crew member with a camera, or at least two of them, because there are at least two different camera angles? I hate when they do things like this, like showing camera angles which make no sense. Speaking about showing camera angles which make no sense, McCoy found the tape in the computer, played it back, heard only buzz, but when he brought it to Spock to the bridge and played it in the correct speed, they suddenly see a video of Kirk recording the tape, even though there was no camera filming Kirk when he was recording the tape. Or is it supposed to be something like security camera footage? Spock drinks the Scalosian water and he gets sped up too. I skipped another little subplot, which has no real effect on the real story. Ryle is jealous. He himself loves Deela and suffers when he has to watch how much is Deela interested in Kirk. Come on, woman. Do you have to provoke him like that? In one occurrence, he even walks to them when they're making out. They start to fight and stop in only when Kirk says that he adapted to the change, which means he's now one of them. Yes, that jealousy subplot was pretty much pointless, but at least it gave Ryle some character, unlike the other Scalosians who I barely remember were also in the story. So maybe it wasn't completely pointless. Anyway, as you could imagine, Kirk was only pretending that he switched sides, so he steals Deela's weapon and runs to environmental control where he meets the sped-up Spock. They storm there together, shoot Ryle, and later also capture Deela and beam them back to the planet. Spock gives Kirk an antidote he pulled magically from his, let's say, sleeve, and Kirk gets slower again. Spock meanwhile stays fast, repairs the ship, and then materializes in the correct speed on the bridge. And Deela appears on the screen again, because Uhura accidentally pushed the wrong button. You know, the button which makes a random recording appear on screen without any sound and zoomed in to a face of a background character. That button. Well, Kirk gets shocked, because probably he just realized that he has just doomed a whole race. Yes, because Kirk didn't want to have sex with a queen, their whole race will die. Why is this treated like a happy ending? Well, This was a weird episode. It's pretty tone deaf in some of the places. It has way too many stupid things in it, except for all of the stuff I mentioned. How many times does Deela let Kirk run away? I mean, she knows he will try to ruin their plan. When she thinks that he will adapt, why don't they lock him up into some room and wait until he does fully adapt, and only then let him go? I would love to see an adaptation of the original Lee Cronin story. In the case you don't know, Lee Cronin was in reality Gene L. Coon, who was the lead writer and producer of the majority of the previous 2 seasons, but he's credited only for the story. The actual script is credited to Arthur Heineman, which means that he rewrote more than a half of the original script, and you can see it. To me, it sounds like a great idea, but not very well developed. By the way, Heineman is credited for such Star Trek masterpieces as The Way to Eden or The Savage Curtain, so his track record is not very good in my opinion. Speaking about my opinions, on my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give this episode 6 out of 10. Maybe even a 7 out of 10, but not more. There are way too many dumb things in this episode, and that's a pity because I absolutely love the premise of this episode. But as always, these were just my opinions. Feel free to let me know what you think about this one. Did you love it, hate it, or did you think it's just average? Let me know what do you think down in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you have some free time, you can check any of the other videos on my channel. You should see some links on screen right now. Thank you very much for your time, and see you hopefully tomorrow with another video comparing 2 versions of the next episode of Star Trek The Next Generation called Elementary Dear Data. See you very soon. Bye.